We're here today to make a very exciting announcement, an announcement about an initiative about funding for higher education in Louisiana, and an initiative to make sure our students are prepared to fill the thousands of jobs coming to Louisiana in the near future. Our higher education institutions have done an incredible job these last 6 years instituting a number of reforms to help more of our students graduate and to move our state forward. Regents has instituted higher admission standards at colleges and universities, and with these higher standards, we've seen enrollment across our institutions continue to increase. In addition to higher enrollment between 2008 and 2012, the graduation rate for 2-year and 4-year schools combined increased from 37.2% to 41.1%. The graduation rate for 4-year degrees increased from 42.2% to 48.2%. Meaning not only do we have more students enrolled, but our schools are doing even better and our students are doing even better. For the 3rd year in a row, LSU has now announced a record graduation rate, marking almost a 10% increase since just 2010. These results are a testament to the incredible work of our faculty and students at schools across Louisiana. These reforms are working, but it's time to redouble our efforts. It's also true we're in the middle of an economic renaissance in the state of Louisiana. Since 2008, we have announced economic development wins totaling more than 80,000 new jobs, more than $50 billion in private capital investment. Because of these job wins, more people are now employed than any point in Louisiana's history. Tens of thousands of new jobs are in the pipeline, and they must be filled. Our next challenge is to ensure we have the skilled workforce to fill these jobs of the future. You've heard from economists who have recently said they have never seen an industrial expansion like the one underway in Louisiana. But they've also warned that we've got to do a better job training skilled workers that will be needed to fill the demand for jobs at the major industrial and high-tech projects coming to Louisiana. We now have tens of thousands of jobs in the pipeline that must be filled, and we must ensure we have the skilled workforce to fill these jobs of the future. And that's why our top priority not only in this session but going forward, must be making sure we have the resources to prepare our students and train them for the jobs of the future. In order to help meet this goal, our budget for the next fiscal year will increase state general funding for higher education and increase total higher education funding by $141.5 million, a 6.6 increase over last year. That would bring total funding for higher education to $2.3 billion. I want to talk today about one specific component of that. The funding that I've announced will also include a new higher education workforce incentive fund of $40 million that will better prepare Louisiana students to compete in the new global economy. Now, a few months ago, I sat down with our system heads, our higher education leaders, and said, look, we have brought thousands of jobs to Louisiana. And even before we knew what the new budget would look like, I asked them this. I said, if you had new money, how would you reinvest it to make sure we have the qualified workforce to take those jobs? And this is an important point. I've made the point that as we grow our economy, as we increase our revenues, we're not simply going to put money into old programs. We've made many efficiencies and many gains over these last few years, but we're going to invest these dollars in programs with accountability that deliver the best results for our students. And I want to commend our system leaders because we gave them this challenge and they went and worked together. And they produced some very specific plans. One of the things they emphasized, they came up with a very innovative plan. The $40 million in the incentive fund is now going to be spent according to the plan they've come up with. It'll be made available to state research institutions that produce nationally recognized commercial research, and also to state colleges and universities that partner with private industry to produce graduates with high demand degrees and certificates and enable them to link their coursework to industry needs and projected workforce demands. This fund will be called the Workforce and Innovation for a Stronger Economy Fund, or the WISE Fund. It will strengthen the critical linkage between college coursework and employment needs in our state. And this is how the fund is going to work. The funds will be made available to state research institutions that produce nationally recognized commercial research and to state colleges and universities that produce graduates with 4- and 5-star job-ready degrees. This performance-based formula rewards and incentivizes the degrees that occupational forecasting and industry have shown are the most employable and the most in demand. Now, to receive these funds, institutions will partner with private industry by recruiting at least a 20% private match in cash or in kind, such as technology and equipment. And I want to thank not only Lobby and Stephen, but the other representatives of the business community for also working with our higher education institutions to help meet the workforce needs not only of today, but tomorrow as well. Each institution will present a business plan that will demonstrate how the funds will be invested to reach the number of degrees we need as a state to fill the jobs we have now and in the next few years. Every year, each institution will be held accountable for reaching their goals to produce those degrees. Using data-driven predictive modeling with actual numbers from business and industry, we figured out how to predict how many and what level of degrees we need to meet workforce demand. First, we took the list of fields for which we have the biggest demand. Secondly, we differentiated between non-specialist jobs like general managers and degree or certificate-specific jobs that require expertise in a particular field like engineers and computer scientists. Third, we figured out how many managers versus assistants, engineers versus engineering technicians, for example, we needed in each one. Fourth, we mapped those positions onto the degree and certificate programs that produce qualified workers to take them. Fifth and finally, we figured out how many of each high-demand degree or certificate we were producing and how many we actually needed. That delta, that difference, is what drives this investment fund to ensure that we are producing the degrees we need to employ our children tomorrow. This collaboration between LED, Economic Development, Louisiana Workforce Commission, and the leaders of higher education have created a targeted investment strategy that spends dollars on the degrees we need to take the jobs that companies are creating in Louisiana. These partnerships are already in the work at our colleges and universities. For example, IBM has entered into a partnership with LSU's School of Engineering. As part of IBM's project in downtown Baton Rouge, LSU committed to triple its computer science graduates in 5 years, placing the LSU computer science program in the top 10 to 15 nationally for the number of BS degrees in computer science awarded nationally. The college will also expand its computer science programs and curriculum innovation as LSU students will benefit from internship opportunities and more jobs upon graduation, keeping the best and brightest in our state. These type of partnerships make clear that here in Louisiana, we are committed to making this state the best place to work and to raise a family. What it really translates into is not only better research on our campuses and better training and instruction in our classrooms. What it really translates into is a better future for our sons and daughters. It means our children can graduate, pursue their dreams right here in Louisiana. It's great every time we break another record and bring another major economic development win to our state. Today's announcement will help translate those wins into a better quality of life for Louisiana's sons and daughters. We're thrilled we're able to make these investments in higher education so we can ensure our workers are prepared to fill the influx of thousands of new jobs will be available in our state in the years to come.
Thank you, Governor Jindal, and thank you all for coming on this important day. I'd also like to recognize Jason Drody and our team that has been working diligently for the last 3 months and pulling people together, putting all this together with us, as well as many others, and our board members that have followed every step of the way. More importantly, I'm very, very appreciative to the governor for adopting higher education and adopting this request for working closely with the higher education leaders to prioritize higher education in this upcoming budget session. We all appreciate this and know how important we are to the future of Louisiana. And I think you see the commitment of all of us behind me today and those throughout the state to ensuring that we are a part of every discussion regarding economic development and social welfare in this state. We also appreciate the leadership and concern for the future of higher education and our students by both our co-authors of our bill, Senate President John Alario and Speaker Chuck Cleckley. They have been with us every step of the way, numerous meetings with them. They have expressed their concern on what we're going to do together to build Louisiana. Along with Representative Stephen Carter and Senator Appel have also met with us numerous times on this very important topic. I'm also very thankful to the collaborative effort to include higher ed as an essential component of future economic development, which is a first for us in Louisiana, apparently. And thanks to the help of Stephen Moray and Kurt Isink, who have also been in our meetings for the last 2.5 months and been with us every step of the way. We greatly appreciate your efforts, your leadership, and your collaboration with us. The Workforce and Innovation for a Stronger Economy WISE Fund is part of a national trend of performance-related funding. But where it stands at the forefront of national trends is the fact that it is tying our current state needs and workforce demands to what we're able to produce and graduate as institutions of higher education. This couldn't happen at a better time for our students to graduate with top high-degree, high-demand fields of study and careers waiting for them. Because right now also, something that most don't seem to take into account, student indebtedness has become a national issue that's not going away. Student indebtedness exceeds $1 trillion 2 years ago as the nation's second leading debt, only behind mortgage loans, exceeding that of credit card debt. And I'm pleased to say that not only are students going to enter the workforce with high demand jobs, careers waiting for them, but Louisiana ranks third in the amount of student indebtedness, the third lowest in the country, and 10th lowest in the percentage of our students graduating with debt. So not only are we getting a good career start in the workforce for our graduates, but they're starting out not saddled with the type of debt that many of their colleagues have been saddled with nationwide. As for LSU, we're also supportive of outcomes-based measures, such as the WISE plan. The outcomes-based approach will lead to investment in numerous degree fields at LSU, such as engineering, computer science, business, medicine, and many other health-related fields, of which we need very, very badly in Louisiana. The plan also rewards research productivity, an important component for driving innovation, driving new jobs, bringing in economic development from outside the state. We also know that investments in higher education have important economic and societal benefits that will enable our state to meet the expanding workforce demands of today and in the years to come. Recognizing that higher education has become the essential component to future economic growth and stability is absolutely critical. This is why this partnership with our governor, this partnership with our legislative leadership, is the first step to ensuring that our colleges and universities not only be recognized, but are provided essential investment funding as a foundational element for economic growth and prosperity for all citizens of Louisiana.